Well, hey, everybody. Happy Sunday night. Let's have a live call-in show here in just a second. Gotta keep that thing from sleeping. Hey, let me know you're here. Soda is here. We are ready. Hey, Fulton. Hashtag Scotty G. Wade. Justin. Make my way back home. Learn to fly high. George from Hawaii just gave me the worst diss on Twitter ever. So go check out, I retweeted it. Go check out Twitter. It's awesome. "16 days till I'm what? What, Bethany? 16 days till you're what? That's right. Coke Zero always for the win. Hey, Margie. She checks in at Pop. Okay, good. It was something good. Okay, I was worried. Hey, Michael over in the UK. Hope you're doing well. Hey, Ashley. Happy Sunday. Riley just left to go back to Columbia. I'm so sad. She was with us this week. Paige had a game in Florida, and then today they played at noon in Kentucky. She's already back. They lost by 5. So Riley had to hitch a ride west. So she'll be arriving in Columbia any moment. And I already missed my dog. But it's quiet because Pam's picking up Mallory from cheerleading right now. So it's just us. All right, let's do this. Let's get some news, talk about everything going on, and take your calls. And we could talk about Nolan Arenado if you want, how the Cardinals are going to automatically win the National League Central, but we don't have to. We don't have to. How we stole him from the Rockies. We don't have to talk about that right now. And that Adam Wainwright's back. No, we don't have to talk about that either. All right, here we go. And I have a question for the runners out there tonight to call in and give me your advice on. We've been talking about this on the Jay Moore, haven't seen you in ages. Hey Jay. Yeah, let's get to it. Let's get recording so we can get this on the show. Glad everybody's here. Thanks for dropping in. No show next week. So Super Bowl. Everybody watching that, I'm sure. So we'll get back together in 2 weeks. Jay wants his food. He wants his DDP. I do too. I'm down with DDP. Yeah, you know me. All right, here we go. Hey, everybody. Happy Sunday night. Welcome to yet another Be Our Guest podcast live call-in show where we broadcast live on Facebook and YouTube every Sunday night, excluding next Sunday night because it'll be Super Bowl Sunday. I know we have Justin down there. He's probably going to sneak in the stadium. Raymond James down there because he's in Tampa, but I know a lot of folks will be glued to the game, maybe just to watch the commercials, maybe to watch Tom Brady go for his 7th Super Bowl. Whether you like the guy or not, I'm not a big fan of Tom Brady, but that is pretty remarkable. He's 43 years old. I'm 47. I can barely get out of bed. There's no way I could be out on a football field getting hit by guys. So I give him props as an old man for getting it done, getting to the Super Bowl again. And of course, we have a Missouri team in the Super Bowl, the Kansas City Chiefs. So, St. Louis isn't, or Missouri's not a bad sports town. We had the Stanley Cup champions and the St. Louis Blues. St. Louis Cardinals this week stole Nolan Arenado, one of the best players in baseball, from the Colorado Rockies. So we have an anchor at third base, anchor at first base. We're pretty excited around here, but most importantly, we got Adam Wainwright back in the fold, my favorite all-time Cardinal, number 50, Uncle Charlie. Glad to have him back. And of course, it's a good team. Mizzou's not too bad either. We're not great, but we're not bad. So let's go with that. But we're here to talk Disney tonight for the next hour. We're going to be taking your calls and having a good old time. First of all, before we get to today's topic, and Phil is sending a shout out to us live in the chat from Big Thunder Mountain Railroad, wildest ride in the wilderness. Hands up. Don't hold on to that bar. You got to ride it the right way, Phil. I'm looking for that picture. All right. So before we get to the news, and then your calls. And we have some calls coming in already. We'll give out the number here in just a second and open up those phone lines. I got to give a shout out to my good friend George, who lives out in Paradise, out in Hawaii. You might check him out on Twitter. He has the guava dog, which the other day he took a picture of his dog. It was like perfect. I mean, it was the perfect picture. The background was perfect. The dog was right it was awesome. Guava dog. But you guys know that I'm fueled by Taco Bell when it comes to the podcast. So on Monday nights, we record. And typically after the recording and the editing, I run to Taco Bell, grab some quick dinner. And then, I get back to work and watch some TV before I go to bed. So that's kind of my routine. I do that on Wednesdays as well. Sunday nights with the live show, sometimes I grab Taco Bell before. I still I'm so 2011 still, because I used to love Foursquare, the app where you checked in. I loved Gowalla. Speaking of apps, I loved Gowalla back in the day down at Walt Disney World. RIP Gowalla. But I still check in now and then just to let everybody know that I'm, staying loyal to my Taco Bell. So I check in tonight and, check in. I'm grabbing my food here about an hour before the show, going to eat it, come down to the studio, get everything set to take your calls. Worst burn ever on Twitter. It's such a burn. I'm scorched right now, but I love it because he is so good at this. You guys know I love Dr. Rick, right? The commercials on TV that keeps you from turning into your parents. We also have a recurring character on the Be Our Guest podcast now, Dr. Mike, keeping you from becoming a basic Disney fan. Well, so I get on my Twitter timeline and there's George, my good buddy, George Rossi. And he has a picture, a meme of Dr. Rick. And it shows my check-in at Taco Bell tonight. Yes, I'm the mayor because I go there often. And I checked in tonight, about an hour ago. And it says, you went to Taco Bell. No one cares. Oh, George, you got me right in the feels, man. That hurt, but I love it, guys. Perfect. That's A+ troll game. I got to give a shout out to George. All right, let's get to the news of the week over at themouseforless.com. We have 4 stories we're going to talk about tonight. And how about we do a little screen sharing so you can see what's going on here on the screen. Do that. Pop it up here instead of me, so you're not seeing me. And we've already, and again, when you call in, we can discuss any of these stories that you might like, or my topic that I have for the runners out there. Jungle Cruise is getting updated. We've had this news out there for about a week, so kind of letting it settle down. It was a little hot. It was a little hot to touch there at first, but things are about to get a lot punnier. That's because something new is coming to the Jungle Cruise attraction at both Walt Disney World and the Disneyland resorts. Disney shared that it's an update to the Jungle Cruise story. The skippers will now be part of the attraction at both the Magic Kingdom and Disneyland Park. It says guests will follow a skipper, and passengers for the first time, the skipper will actually be represented in the attraction with a show figure. The story of the Mekong Maiden and the Quango Kate gets told, and we find out their expedition ends up in a tree after their boat sinks and splits apart. There's going to be monkey business. Of course, chimps are going to be aboard the wreckage. So I don't want to spoil too much if you're trying to stay away from spoilers. I know some people do. Again, I think they're trying to get a little politically correct again with this. I've always seen the Jungle Cruise personally as just lighthearted, but I don't go looking for stuff. I mean, I'm just there to have a good time, and maybe I don't notice as much as I should. The Jungle Cruise is just a fun boat ride. I like it at night. I like see it, going through the tunnel or the ancient ruins with all the, tore up statues and the gold and the monkeys and the elephants and the foliage and stuff like that. The natives kind of dancing around because they can't find the keys to the bathroom. So that stuff's never bothered me, but I get where it could maybe bother somebody else. So I don't know. I'm kind of 50-50 on this one. I like old stuff. I know Disneyland, Walt Disney World can't be a museum, but I also don't mind when stuff stays classic. So we'll stick with that. All right. You ready to get wet? You ready to go to a water park? Oh my gosh, it's been forever since we've gone to a water park. Disney's Blizzard Beach is reopening soon. So here we got some details on that. Guests will once again be able to splish and splash at Blizzard Beach Water Park beginning on March 7th, which, by the way, that's my wife's birthday. And you can buy one-day park tickets at this point. Tickets are $69 plus tax for adults, $63 for kids. That's ages 3 to 9 in Disney Talk. You can purchase your tickets online. They are valid through December 31st of this year. You do not need to make a theme park reservation to visit the water park. That's the question I'm getting the most. Do I have to have a theme park reservation to go to Blizzard Beach? No. But again, when the water park fills to capacity, just like always, you cannot get in. So And it says if you had previously purchased water park tickets prior to the park's closing, you can use any unexpired one-day water park ticket that were active at the time the water parks were closed through December 31st, 2021. So you can do that, or you can cancel it as well. You'd have to call Disney Reservation Center to cancel. So Blizzard Beach is going to be back. You're going to have to wear masks, but I don't think you have to wear them in the pools. It says guest ages 2 and up will be required to wear face coverings in designated areas. This includes at the park entrance and exit, retail areas, and food and beverage ordering areas. Face coverings will not be permitted while going down the water slides or when swimming in the water. Face covering may also be removed while actively eating or drinking. Guests should remain stationary and maintain appropriate physical distancing. So there you go, Blizzard Beach. I wish it was Typhoon Lagoon. I like that one a little bit better. But hey, we're moving in the right direction. Look at it this way. 50% of the water parks will be reopened come March 7th. It's a great way to celebrate my wife's birthday this year. All right, how about some details, fresh details about the 2021 Flower and Garden Festival over at Epcot. Let's talk about that real quick. When does it run? Right now, we're in the middle of Festival of the Arts. It's going to kick off March 3rd and run all the way until July 5th. So if you're there for the 4th of July this year, you are there. It's crazy. You are there for the Flower and Garden Festival, which I always think is a spring event. Let's see here. You're going to have some topiaries, tons of them. Check them out over at the Mouse for Less on the news story. Just some of them. Buzz Lightyear is going to be over by Mission Space. Sorcerer Mickey Mouse, main entrance. Woody, Bo Peep and her sheep in Future World West. There's going to be a troll, obviously, in Norway. Lady and the Tramp's going to be in Italy. Remy's going to be, of course, in France. Kermit the Frog and Miss Piggy over between the UK and Canada. Tinkerbell and the Fairies, United Kingdom. So there's just going to be a lot going on. I mean, there's just too much really to talk about. But I mean, the festival starts March 3rd. And think about it, guys. In just a few hours, it's going to be February already. So in about 4 weeks, we're into Flower and Garden, which is a spring staple. So lots going on. You're going to have your outdoor kitchens going on. You're going to have, lots to eat, of course. The global gardens, the different sections with different kinds of flowers and, bonsai trees and so forth. I mean, there's just so much going on. You're going to have some entertainment. Voices of Liberty are going to perform in the America Gardens Theater. Mariachi Cobre will also be performing there. I love those guys. They're amazing. The Jammin' Gardeners will be there as well. Kind of like what they're doing for Festival of the Arts. There will be scavenger hunts again. It's going to be Spike's Pollination Exploration, and the hunt is $7.99 plus tax. And during Easter season, from March 19th to April 4th, guests will be able to take part in an extravaganza scavenger hunt. This time, you got to find those oversized eggs all around World Showcase. That one is also $7.99 plus tax. And guess what? There's merch, so you can buy all kinds of flower and garden stuff. Okay, finally, the last story of the day. Then let's open up these phone lines. Updated face covering requirements, because times are changing, right? I mean, in Missouri, things are getting better at a quick rate. I got to say that. I mean, we're not all in Missouri, but I got to brag on my state. No deaths today and only 1,000 something cases, which, hey, it's a lot better than it was a month ago. So we are going in the right direction. So Disney put this out to kind of give everybody a little update on what's going on as far as face coverings. And it says, with the vaccine for the COVID-19 rolling out around the world, many are asking questions. Will face coverings still be required for those who have gotten vaccinated before visiting the Disney parks? The answer to that question is currently yes. Disney is following the CDC protocols. Currently, the CDC is still recommending that people continue to practice healthy behaviors, and that does include wearing a mask. With that in mind, Disney's still requiring cast members as well as guests 2 and up that they will need to wear face coverings at all times. That is, unless guests are actively eating or drinking while remaining stationary and maintaining appropriate physical distancing. There's also going to be temperature screenings as well continuing, and the theme parks are still going to operate at reduced capacity. Also, physical distancing will still be promoted, and there will still be an increased frequency in the cleaning. So basically, we're going to start to have, this conglomeration of folks who have been vaccinated and folks who have not been vaccinated. So even if you've got the vaccine and you're good to go, you still got to, I can see why Disney has to do this and everybody has to do this, right? I mean, it's just an extra layer of safety, but 2, it's really going to be hard to police anything that that you can't see. Like if some folks were wearing masks, some folks were not. I mean, what are you gonna do? Check everybody's vaccination record? You know, as you're strolling through Italy, you know, it'd just be impossible to take that on. So you got to keep the masks on, and hopefully that'll be something. Maybe we go through the spring, maybe we go through the summer, maybe in the fall we make a change, and wham, things are back to normal. I did see some coverage down in Australia. If you've been watching a little bit of the news, the Australian Open, which is a tennis tournament, was happening down there. They are in a stadium, no masks, no reduced capacity, playing tennis because they have not had any cases for like a month. So they can go to the movies, they can go to restaurants, no masks, they're living life just like always because they have gotten through it. So, hey, let's hope we keep going that way and things will move in the right direction. All right, so that's the news brought to you by themouseforless.com. You can check all that out over at themouseforless.com for more details, pictures, all that stuff. Ricky puts that all together for us. But let's open the phone lines at 407-413-9395, 407-413-9395. One more question that I have for you tonight. If you're a runner, does the theme of a Run Disney weekend sway you one way or the other, either to register or not register for a race? We're talking about this on the Discord. I could care less about the theme. I never look, but some people are like really into it. So I'm going to talk about that tonight. Are the themes affecting your Run Disney race registration if you're a runner? All right, we got Alfred on the line. Alfred, happy Sunday night. What's up, buddy?
Hi, Mike. How are you?
I'm doing great. How are you doing?
Good. Preparing for a blizzard here.
I know. I saw that. We got diddly doo. Yeah. We didn't get nothing. We got rain. We were on like the very warm edge of it. I mean, just north of us, Chicago got like a foot. So we missed it by just a little bit.
Yeah. We're supposed to get 14 to 18 inches.
Yeah, I wouldn't even know what to do with that. You know what? I'd love to have that once. I drive a Jeep Wrangler. I'd be out just crushing it in my Jeep. I just because we never get to have fun like that. So yeah, well, have fun with it. Go. You got to at least do something.
Yeah, no, I'll be in all day.
That's such a shame. Oh, have fun.
Yeah. They're already coming around with the the cops with this state of emergency to get the cars off the roads.
Yeah, I can see where that'd be a problem.
So yeah, fun times.
Yes.
Always fun times.
Well, yeah, it could be well, who cares at this point? You know, after 2020, a blizzard, we all stay inside anyway. It doesn't matter. We may as well have some snow to look at.
Yeah, exactly.
Cool. So what's up?
Okay. Well, I was just noticing, the Jungle Cruise. I think that what they're doing is okay. I really don't have a problem with that. Because I think they're still going to keep a lot of it the same. So,
I hope. But
they know how they're going to tweak it. Look, so that's fine.
Let me ask you this. Would you be upset if you saw a rock? And I'm not, don't take it for granted, but if you saw a rock audio animatronic and you smell what he's cooking, do you want him? Because he's going to be in that movie.
Yeah. Oh, that's a tough one. But yeah, I think it would. That would be good though.
I don't want to rock. I'm fine with some changes to the Jungle Cruise as long as they keep some of the spirit of the original attraction, which I think they will. Yeah. Just like you just said. But I don't want to rock because what if that movie's terrible? I mean, I doubt it will be, but what if it is? I don't want the rock. Maybe 5 years later, put her, like they did with Pirates. Give it some time.
Right. Yeah, I don't think they're gonna actually do any changes yet. I think they're going to wait till the movie comes out, see what kind of response it gets, and then go from there.
Right. So I think so too.
They probably have an A plan and a B plan.
They probably do. You're exactly right.
Yeah. I also was watching a YouTube video yesterday, which I found pretty interesting. I don't know if I trust it, but it was the YouTube group or person was called Poseidon Entertainment.
Okay.
And they basically talked about Splash Mountain. And they went through like the history of Song of the South, and it was a long video. But ultimately it came down to, well, at that point, Disney had to jump on the bandwagon of Black Lives Matter. so, they said, but there hasn't been anything since. So what they're thinking is, and I don't know if I believe it or not, but their thinking is that this is just something to get on the bandwagon and nothing will ever change. It'll always stay Splash Mountain.
Yeah, see, I think they're in too far to not do it. And I think they're doing it for the right reasons. I mean, also I'm very, I'm very much like, if it isn't broke, don't fix it. And a lot of people like Splash, but I can also see where, I've been all day. Today's Jackie Robinson's birthday, as we're recording this. And so I've been watching a lot of stuff on MLB Network, because I'm a big baseball fan. And, watching the plight of Jackie Robinson and how he not only changed baseball, but changed America. And then you have Hank Aaron passing away. So I watched some stuff about Hank Aaron.
Yeah.
And I understand. I mean, Disney wants to educate as well as entertain. And that's just another avenue to express something that maybe it could be just as entertaining as Splash Mountain is today, but it could also kind of promote a social message at the same time. I'm not great at this stuff, but I mean, that's a possibility.
Yeah, it is. So I'm just trying to put my head around it all and say, is it something that will happen, that they'll just forget about it? There's no money to do it right now, so they'll just leave it alone, and then, we're trying to get back on our feet, leave it alone, that type of thing.
No, I think it's going to happen. I think this is like, I always have a to-do list in my office here. Well, this is my office. It's the podcast studio. It's the corner of the basement, really, but I call it my office because we don't have enough rooms in our house until Paige moves out, and then I'll get an office and I'm whatever. It's fine. I have a corner of the basement. But the thing is, I always have a to-do list, and it always shuffles around, right? It's almost like if you've ever seen when they show a movie with like the air traffic controllers, how they have those little pieces of plastic, and they're always shuffling them around, right, for the airplanes. That's my to-do list. And sometimes, something sits at number 1, sometimes it'll slide to 3, depending on the circumstances. I think Disney has got to have this Splash Mountain thing, almost locked in at 1, or my video just got a little fuzzy, or else I got fuzzy. But I think they have to keep that at least locked in at 1, 2, or 3 at this point, because I think if they don't do it, they made such a big deal out of it, there's going to be a lot of backlash. They would look like they were grandstanding.
Yeah, that's true too. Yeah,
because the worst thing
what if they came out?
Yeah, I mean, because they just don't want to be accused of like, okay, we jumped on it, we got excited because of the movement, and then once the fervor, went away, we're just like, kind of, let's don't do this. I think that would be a bad look.
Yeah, but what if they decided to do a different attraction based on Princess and the Frog?
Well, but I don't think at this point they can. I think they've given too many specifics. They have to follow through. I just think it has to happen. Yeah. I mean, but who knows? I mean, that's what we do. This is why we like Disney. It's fun to speculate.
Yeah. And like I said, I don't know if I believe them or not, but I just thought it was pretty interesting. Everything they mentioned, they backed it up.
Right. So. And they did say, like Marlessa saying in the chat, it's not going to happen for 1.5 years, 2 years. So they got plenty of time to kind of get out their ducks in a row and everything set.
I think it's going to be even longer than that.
I would guess
at this point,
I would guess they would start something by the summer of 2022.
I don't, because that's the 50th anniversary. I don't think they're going to close down one of their biggest attractions just to renovate it.
They might, though, if they have Tron or something back up, because then they're replacing that capacity. I don't know. We'll see. I have I don't know.
Yeah. So, yes, I thought that was interesting. What else? Trying to think. I like that they're extending Flower and Garden. I think that's great.
But July, that's crazy.
Yeah.
The 4th of July. It's like a spring festival.
Then Food and Wine will start up.
Yeah, seriously. You'll have, if you're there on July 6th, you'll get a regular Epcot, and July 7th, the Food and Wine will start. It'll go till Thanksgiving. It's crazy.
Yeah. So, because now they know how to actually set it up without setting it up.
Right. I mean, it almost stays set up
You
year
know.
round at this point. They just change kind of the
Yeah.
little kitchens. They just basically change the
Mhm.
shingle outside, and it's it's Flower and Garden. Oh,
Right.
it's Festival of the Arts. Oh, it's Food
Yep.
and Wine. Yeah, totally.
Yep. And like all the kiosks, the shopping and all that. Like I saw all the tents up already before I came home for Festival of the Arts.
Yeah.
There
It's
were
all
some
there.
that were already in place and closed. So they were working on that even at that point.
Yep. Which I mean, I can't blame them because I mean, are you? Here's like what I think about that. I mean, if somebody's a traditionalist, I do like to see Epcot without a festival sometimes. But do you think the typical
Mhm.
guest is going to be disappointed if they walk in and the festival's going longer? I think most guests see that as a bonus, right? Because I don't think having a
Yeah,
festival going
exactly.
on, it's not a hindrance. It's actually, something that's an enhancement on your day. You have an opportunity to see more
Yeah.
entertainment, try different kinds of
Mhm.
foods, and I mean, you still get to ride all the same rides or go into the
Mhm.
countries. You're not missing anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nope. And I think it's great. I think they should do it all year round.
They could. It's close. You're getting it.
Yeah. Yeah. It is very close at this point. Maybe a week in between,
Yeah. A little swap out.
So,
Yep.
yeah. Yep. So it's good.
All right.
What else? I think that's probably it.
Well, hey.
So
You gonna watch the Super Bowl next week?
probably not.
Oh, come on. You watching the Puppy Bowl?
No, I don't watch TV.
Okay. All right. Well, hey, just remember.
I watch the podcast.
Yeah, it's a good.
That's
Hey,
it.
that's a winning thing. But we won't have one next Sunday because my wife would kill me because she likes to watch all the stuff,
Yeah.
and we get all the good food.
Well, that's good.
Yeah, so it's
Yeah.
basically just an excuse to order Wingstop, which is our favorite wings, which are terrible for you. They're so bad for you, but we only get them for special occasions.
Yeah, but they're so good.
Oh, you guys have Wingstop up in New York?
No, but we have something similar.
Oh
to
my
that.
gosh, you're so good.
Yeah.
And they're expensive, but we're gonna splurge. We're gonna get like 20.
Yeah,
So,
why not?
Yeah, I know. All right.
20.
Well, hey, Alfred, I'm not gonna talk to you for a couple weeks.
All
So you
right.
stay safe in that snowstorm.
Yep.
What do we think you need anything? Just give me a holler.
Thanks.
Talk to you later.
All
buddy.
right. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Have a good one.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
All right, we have our next caller. We got Alfred through the ready for a snowstorm. Now, who's up next?
Hey, Mike, it's Carla from New York, also ready for a snowstorm.
Oh my gosh, everybody's getting our snow. We got diddly do. We didn't get anything. We got rain.
We can send it to you if you want. I'm happy to do so.
Hey, my wife and I have the exact same philosophy on this kind of stuff. Because again, remember, we both taught elementary school, and I still kind of have that in my system. And the funny thing is that in our school, I was the one every teacher would go to and say, do we have a chance at a snow day tomorrow? I would give like a rating. I'd say we got an 83% chance or a 71% chance or a 12% chance. And I was like deadly accurate on this for some reason for years. And I still have teachers that call me and get me on Twitter and stuff that I used to teach with when there's a storm coming in. But anyway, here's the deal. If it's going to be cold, you may as well have a lot of snow. But if it's going to be, if it's not going to be cold, then, it needs to be like warm and no snow. So if it's going to be cold, we want snow, but we're missing out. We're not getting anything but rain.
I totally agree, but we're going to get 18 inches, and it's just adding insult to injury since we got back from Disney on Friday and left the beautiful 80-degree weather to come back to New York. And it's like, can I just get back on a plane? Can I go back now?
That does make it hurt a little more. I get that. Yeah, totally. Now it's awesome in the opposite direction though, right? Like say you're leaving 18 inches of snow, you get on a plane and then you land and it's like, oh my God, that's humidity. And it's like 75 with the south breeze. It's like, oh, I love this.
Absolutely. And I know at some point, I'll tell you about my whole trip, but so when we got down there this past Monday, it was 18 degrees here. It was 80 in Florida. And so immediately we got there, we checked in. I took Anastasia, my horse obsessed 4-year-old, over to the barn at Tri-Circle D Ranch at Fort Wilderness. She hung out for half the afternoon, laying on the barn floor, drawing all of the horses. She is good friends with Paul, who is the horse that Gaston rides in all of the parades. And then we were going to go to a fancy dinner at the Grand Floridian. And I was like, I can't take you to the Grand Floridian Cafe smelling like a barn. And she's like, I was like, I should bathe you. And she's like, can we go in the pool? And I was like, there's enough chlorine in the Disney pool to kill anything you pick up on that barn.
That
Yes,
is
we
right.
can.
Yes,
it is 80 degrees.
Absolutely.
So in lieu of bathing her, I threw her in the pool and we had a great time. So,
oh my gosh, that's so yeah. Because you sent me the pictures. You sent me an email this morning. Like, it was the greatest way to start a Sunday morning at the kitchen table. I was looking at that and I was like, oh, this is because it was real crummy weather. I mean, it was like 35 in the rain. It was just miserable. And yeah, it was like the cutest thing. And I mean, so I'm glad I'm not the only one. Like when I'm at Walt Disney World, except in the summer, because the weather's kind of the same here in the summer as it is in Florida. But when I go down for Marathon, I'm obsessed. I'm always looking at what is it like at home? Like how miserable, and I want it to be miserable at home. And I want it to be like nice down there. So I'm glad I'm not the only one. And it's so terrible, but I'm glad I'm not the only one.
Yeah, it was. So anyway, this is just reinforcing everyone should go to Disney in January because the weather there is perfect and the weather at home for most of the country is crap.
Yeah.
So also the wait times are insane. We walked on to most of the big rides. So yeah.
So
anyway,
you said you did.
I don't want to pick up.
Well, I know we're gonna do a whole show here in a little bit, but you mentioned you guys did 10 roller coasters at the Magic Kingdom in one day. And how old is Anastasia?
Yeah, she's 4.5.
Oh my, yeah. You mentioned it in the email. You said you're in trouble when she's older. I agree. You better look out. This kid wants like has the need for speed.
Yeah. And then we walked on to, and then on Friday, we walked on to Test Track. And as soon as we got off, she's like, again. And I was like, dear God, no, please don't make me do that. And she sat in the front. Yeah. The kid is an adrenaline junkie. Lord help me when she gets older and wants to drive.
Oh my gosh. I get it. I have two girls, man. I get it. Girls are like easier in a lot of ways, but they're not as easy in other ways. So good luck.
Yeah. But it was super cool. So, thanks for all the preparing. And I just want to let you know that like we made it back safely. I sent you pictures. So you saw, yeah, that's all.
Well, hey, real quick. I mean, we're gonna do a whole show, but sure. I mean, so now tell everybody where you stayed and what'd you think about it? I mean, because a lot of folks resorts are huge, like when people are planning. So, is there anything you do different with where you stayed? Because you like going in January.
I like going in January. So we stayed at Contemporary, and I've stayed at fancy hotels for like work stuff before. The Contemporary looks its age at this point. Like there was nothing fancy. There's nothing super Disney about the property. That said, the location really like made it for us. On our first day, we were able to go back and take a nap. And by we, I mean, I took a nap and Anna watched cartoons for an hour and a half.
For real.
But like the way we got in, like the way we did like 10 roller coasters a day at Magic Kingdom was we were walking in the doors at 8:15 and then we walked out, an hour after the park closed. And so we were just like, and the fact that it was just so close. And then when we went to Hollywood Studios and we had a whole debacle with the bus taking forever, like it was just, I get frustrated when I don't have control over something, and the buses were something I had no control over. So the fact that I could control what time we woke up, what time we walked out the door, where we were in line, so that I had control over like where we could like strategy wise go on the roller coasters fastest was great. So like on one day we left 5 minutes later than I wanted. So we were a little bit farther back in line than I wanted us to be. So everyone was going to Seven Dwarfs Mine Train. And I looked at her and I was like, your train? And she's like, my train, mommy, which is Big Thunder. And we took off running to Frontierland. We walked on it twice, got off, realized they had just opened the gate for Splash Mountain, ran on Splash Mountain, and then went back to Big Thunder. And we did all of that before the park officially opened.
That's so great.
Yeah.
And you're exactly right, because I know folks like don't want to walk on a vacation. I mean, you're on vacation, right? You don't want to have to like go hoofing it. Most people aren't crazy like me and trying to keep track of their steps and get 1 billion steps in a day. But there's something to be said for exactly what you said, like being in control of your own destiny, because a bus ride.
Yes.
While I don't mind the Disney buses, but I mean, sometimes that bus is waiting for you when you hit that corral, but sometimes it might not come for 35 minutes. It just left. And then you're just all, and and here's another pet peeve of mine, just a sidebar, is that deluxe resorts tend to have pretty bad bus service for the most part. Typically you're going to have really great options. Like say you're staying at Epcot Air Resort, you can walk to the studios in Epcot. But if you want to go to the Magic Kingdom, sometimes those buses even share with like Yacht and Beach and stuff. I mean, it's not perfect. And, for the money you're paying at a deluxe resort, I wish they had better bus service. That's just one of my pet peeves. That
was my only like major pet peeve. Like was the pool like anything spectacular? Absolutely not. Did it fit our needs? Did it have a water slide that my 4.5-year-old loved and went down 15 times? Yes, it did. I was like, okay, fine.
Right.
So one night we canceled a dinner reservation and we went back and like mobile ordered food from the Wave and sat by the pool and we played in the pool for 2 hours. And it was like, okay, so I don't have to do bath time tonight. It's
right.
Great.
And well, plus too, I mean, you just got to roll with it, right? Seize the opportunity when the kid's having fun, don't stop the fun, because if you do that, because I've done that, like we have this ADR, we're going to go. And then it's like, everybody's crabby. We should have just relaxed and just stayed at the hotel and just gotten some hot dogs, like life would have been so much better. It wasn't worth it to get all dressed up.
I fed her a Mickey bar for dinner one night. I was like, I don't care. Whatever.
I've done that on the cruise line. I've done that on a cruise line, like a couple ice cream cones up on deck 11 and a Mickey bar, and I'm good to go. Put me back on the aqueduct. That's exactly what I've done. You know what? You mentioned the Contemporary though, and I don't know if we've mentioned this in the news or not, but the main tower is going down. Like they're refurbing all the rooms in the tower. So they are addressing, and I think the Contemporary, like you're right, it's like a retro Contemporary at this point. It's not real. The rooms at probably Coronado Springs have exceeded the Contemporary rooms. I mean, of course, Contemporary is bigger. Location is why you're there. And also kind of the novelty of the monorail and so forth and Chef Mickey's. But, it needs a refurb and it's getting one this spring. So I think Disney's, they're on the right track.
And that's great. But we stayed there. I spent the money just because of the location, because I was doing it solo. And it really did help. And, I'm not sure if I would stay there again, and probably because I went over to the Riv and I really want to check that out. But it was convenient location wise. It was perfect. So I'll give you lots more details when we talk at some point, because I took copious notes for you. But I just highly recommend going in January. I don't know why I hadn't thought of it before until I started listening to you guys and tracking crowd levels and stuff. But it really was a spectacular time. Like the coldest it got while we were there was in the 60s, but I just threw extra leggings on my kid and told her to keep running and she was fine. So
you got slightly lucky, because I've been down there run races in January where it's sleeted on me the entire 13 miles. So, it does get cold in January. It's been miserable. It's been in the 20s, but you got it. You're right. You're right. I mean, God was looking out for you. Let's just say that.
Yes. And then decided to spite me with the 18 inches of snow coming over the next 24 hours. But
we owe you some. We're going to get you.
Yeah, exactly. Karma has to catch up to me.
Exactly.
So,
hey,
anyway,
I appreciate the call last week. I appreciate this one this week. Tell Anastasia thanks for the amazing pictures. It really made my morning. It was awesome.
I'm so glad. All right.
You
have
take
a good
care.
one, Mike.
I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye. All right. Great call there. I love these little quick mini trip reports until we can do full shows. All right. Next call on the line. Hey, who's joining us?
It's Amy from the Running Drink podcast, Mike.
What's up, Amy? Down. You see, you're not getting snow today or tomorrow or the next day.
No.
Ugh.
No.
Ugh.
No. But I hope everybody. But I hope everybody stays warm and stays safe. Though I don't envy that at all.
Do you don't miss getting see, I've always wanted, I want to live in Florida someday. Like when it's best for after everybody's done their stuff here in Missouri, because I love weather, and Florida has now they don't get, wintertime stuff, but Florida has very dynamic weather with tropical storms, hurricanes, you get some tornado. And I know I don't want that to hit anybody that I know or anything, but I've always been a weather nut. I love teaching science because I love weather. And Florida always, because I love when I go on a vacation, especially in the summer, I always want that thunderstorm, that Florida afternoon thunderstorm on back at my room. It's a great time to take a nap. I see all the palm trees going sideways. I love that stuff. So, but you guys don't miss now, have you always lived in Florida, or do you ever wish you were somewhere where you got all 4 seasons?
Sometimes I do. We do a race in Atlanta, the Jeff Galloway Half Marathon weekend every December. And that is as close as we have come in many, many years. Well, I'm originally from Virginia. Dana is a native of Tampa. So I can't call myself a native, but I've been here in Florida since I was 7 years old.
Oh yeah.
So
pretty much.
I'm going to tell him you said it's okay for me to call myself a native.
Well, I would say so.
Florida.
I mean, yeah, I mean, you've been there that long. You've forgotten, and like you're referring to Atlanta, Georgia, as like north. So that just tells me something
Well,
right
yeah.
there. I mean, that's way south for me, you know. So when I hit Atlanta,
Yeah.
I'm like, oh man, I'm in the south.
Yeah. So, I mean, I thrive in a 29-degree weather run, but I don't envy like what Marlessa and what Alfred, what you're going through like right now. You know, I mean, you're doing it right with the treadmill. though.
Right. I haven't gone outside since Christmas, except to take the dog out. That's it. That's it.
Yeah. So I mean, and when you were talking about Run Disney and asking your question earlier.
Yeah. What do you think about that?
Yeah. And like listening to Marlessa, she called in. I just want to say before I forget, Marlessa's point that January was the last time we visited Walt Disney World before the COVID closures.
Mm-hmm.
And she's right about, I mean, the temperature right now is beautiful, and you can get a lot done at that time. So I would just say she's on the money, and that's probably why they had such a great trip. But your Run Disney question, I used to be having, I don't know how many devices, the computer and the phone and the iPad and all of that. And just, I don't care what theme it is. I don't care the medals they release. I just want in.
Right. That's me. That's me every time. I don't care. First thing I always looked at was like, does it fit my schedule? Because of, being a teacher.
Oh, yeah.
I could only pick one that was during the school year. And so I always did marathon weekend. Now, of course, I pretty much like a part of my changing careers was because I wanted to run more races, and I couldn't do it as a teacher. So, I mean, that was just a small part, but it was, I mean, I gotta be honest, it was a part of it. But yeah, I mean, I just want to be there because I like the experience. I'm not into and here I'm sitting in one of my marathon jackets as I forgot, I'm not into the merchandise yet. I'm wearing a hat. I probably got a hat. I got jackets. I like it while I'm there, but I am there for the experience. I enjoy the medals, but I could care less like what they look like. I like it as a memory, to hang on the wall.
Oh yeah. Oh, and the medal, or like, Mike Bankhead says the T-shirt is what he wears in the parks and what his medal is. But wearing the medal in the park the day after and having that experience, and it's something that is unique to a Run Disney race. And while I don't care what the theme is, to have the medal around your neck and to have that experience after the race, to have everybody go, congratulations.
Yes,
and
yes.
you all just have that common bond. That experience is like no other.
Right. It is. And I mean, I'm not saying I don't love the medals. I do. And I love them for that reason, because like you're walking around the Magic Kingdom on the Monday after the marathon, and it's like, you're acknowledging other runners. You're kind of like in a little club. So I drive a Jeep Wrangler. Okay. And it's a unique vehicle because, and I didn't know this before I bought my first one like 25 years ago, is that like, if you see another person driving a Jeep Wrangler, you got to give the Jeep sign, which is like a peace sign, like while you're holding your wheel.
Yeah.
So you got to give the Jeep sign. It's like I'm in some kind of club, and it's like, I didn't know that when I bought the Jeep, but everybody was giving it to me all the time. And I researched it. I'm like, okay, peace. Oh no, it's the Jeep sign. So it's the same thing with these medals. Like, I don't care what they look like. It just signifies that, I had a goal and I made it to the finish line. And then, so did you. So props to you. Let's kind of acknowledge each other.
Yeah. And I think that there are some medals that draw more of a crowd than others. Like the Villains theme this past year for Wine and Dine was a really popular theme, but I think it's kind of like a symbol, and it's the experience. To me, it's the experience, like you said, because I mean, we're so lucky to live 3 hours away, 3 hours south, that we could take like the Run Disney virtuals up there, but there's still nothing like that experience of running with everybody, and everybody, total strangers, encouraging you and running with you, and that whole experience is the reason that I register.
No, totally. It's the environment. I mean, where else do you get to, have great entertainment? Because I mean, I just love Walt Disney World. Get to go backstage, you get to see all that stuff. But mostly, I mean, my favorite places, and I've said this for years, on the courses are they're like the people that are just cheering for random, like, I don't know this person, but they see my bib says Mike.
Yeah.
And they're like, hey man, Mike, you can go, like when I'm going through the Animal Kingdom parking lot that just stinks, the sun's beating on you and you're tired, or somebody's got a great sign, somebody's like, I run for tacos. So, I got to stop by that guy, and get my picture of that gal. I got to get my picture with him, right? That's the perfect sign. We'll run for tacos. Like, that's me, and I mean, somebody took the time to make that sign. Standing out there is no easy chore when you're watching, 5 million people go by and you're probably waiting for 2 people, I mean, it's just like I feed off the spectators feed off the runners, and it's just cool being there. And especially now with all of us getting together with all these different podcasts, it's like a big old family reunion is what it is now.
Yeah, it's fabulous. And I loved that, that one woman that was outside of, I think it was the yacht club and the beach club that would be out there all the time, no matter how long the race was, that had the sign that says, complete stranger, I'm proud of you.
Right. Yep.
I just go because there I am. And like, I'm truly back of the pack, always looking over my shoulder to see if the balloon ladies are there. And those spectators, they are doing it for us. And as much as we're doing the race, we love them and we appreciate them so much more than they could ever possibly know.
100%. I love my fellow runners, and I love my spectators that are out there and the folks that volunteer so we can run. And, anybody that's a part of the whole experience, whether you're checking me in at the expo, it doesn't matter. Like, you are letting me do something I enjoy and you're giving up your time. And it means a lot. Real quick though, speaking of like themes and stuff, I have an opportunity to run a full marathon 10 minutes down the road. Okay. So last year, this is the last race I've run in person. It's a St. Patrick's Day race that they have here in St. Louis. It's 10 minutes from me. Now, last year I ran the half marathon and I ran my PR for a half marathon. It was like a 1:55 or something. I was cooking because I'm not that super fast, but I was like, I got in with like a pack that day. I never run with people, but I got in with this pack and I'm like, I'm staying with them as long as I can. And I stayed with them until the end of the race. I couldn't believe it. And the thing was like, so it was a fun race. And that was like, that was on Pam's birthday. So that was on March 7th of last year. And so I was like, oh yes, I got this great time. Like, I'm gonna use this for my proof of time and get great corrals for the next like 18 months. And who knew, like a week later, all this would go south. But now they're doing this race in person again. But this year they added a full. Now, my thing is, like, I kind of want to run a full this year because I've run one every year since 2015, but it's a boring, like, rail trail. I don't know if I could do a full marathon, not at Disney, because I need something to distract me. I don't know. It's like, that's a long way.
You registered for Chicago, and
but that's fun. I've heard that's awesome. I've heard there's people everywhere. Yeah. This wouldn't be people anywhere, I don't think.
There's nothing like it. The only other weekend that I can think of that's like the Run Disney experience is the Donna Marathon weekend in Jacksonville. And that one went virtual. It supports the Donna Foundation to support those who are fighting breast cancer and their families, so they don't have to choose between a bill and their treatment,
right?
And that kind of thing. So I put a team together for that one, and we have 15 people that are going to do the virtual this year, so that in 2022, when races come back, fingers crossed, we can have that 26.2 mile block party.
Nice.
So that it's incredible. Again, because there are people on all the race signs that you love that you have to get photos with. There are people who have homemade muffins and cupcakes and all decked out in pink and white. And it's incredible. So we're doing that virtual so that next year we can have that block party. And I certainly hope that you have the Run Disney Marathon experience again next year.
Me too.
And we all do.
Like Crystal and Tracy and everybody, Wade, we're all dying for the races. So we'll get back. I mean, it's like anything else, like, to sit in a ballpark to watch the Cardinals. Like, I'll never take that for granted again. It's so much, just to go see my Mizzou Tigers with a full stadium and the atmosphere. I'll never, ever, I never even gave it much thought. It's like, oh God, it's packed here. Like, I hated it, I miss it so much. So it'll be the same with the races. We'll all get there. It'll be sooner, hopefully, rather than later. But Amy, I got to roll because a lot of folks trying to get in, but hey, tell Dana to stay safe, and it's good talking to you.
I will. Hey, best of luck in that marathon if you run it.
That's right. You guys stay warm. I'll be thinking of it. It might get into the 60s.
Same to you.
See you later. Bye-bye.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye.
All right. That's Amy and Dana down from the Run, Eat, Drink podcast. Yeah. We'll keep her in her prayers. It might get into the upper 50s. They might have to pull out not a full-on duvet or anything, maybe a sheet on the bed or something tonight because it could get cold. All right, 407-413-9395 is the number. We're talking about if the theme of your Run Disney weekend sways you one way or the other to sign up. I mean, I'll be honest, I don't care. I've never seen a Marvel movie, but if they do a Marvel race weekend and it lines up with my calendar, I'm there. I'll get the medal. I love that, but I don't care if it's Thor or whoever. All right, next caller's on the line. Thanks for being so patient. Who's joining us?
Hi, it's Laura.
Hi, Laura. How are you doing?
Good.
Sorry it took so long. I got yakking with other people. My fault. So I'm glad you kept trying.
Oh, thanks. It was doing a weird thing about trying to see if you're a robot. My thing is, I hope that the Disney races come back up because my mom really wants to go to one. She's been wanting to for a long time.
Nice. Now, what about you? Are you going to run a race someday? Do you think you would like to run?
Yeah, I've actually already ran some races before. I ran one that was called this mud race, and it had obstacle courses in it. One looks like a ball pit, and this kid really wanted to go in the ball pit. But when he jumped in, there was only balls on top, and the rest of it was a pool, and he got all soaked.
Oh my gosh, I've seen those. I think they're called a Tough Mudder, and I'm not tough enough to do. I can run a long way, but I don't know if I'm tough enough to do a Tough Mudder. That's crazy.
Yeah, there was one with a big pool and ropes, and you had to swing a claw.
Yeah, I don't know if I could do that. I'm kind of old. That'd be bad news for me. I might look a little young, but I'm not young anymore.
Yeah, and my mom did it with me, and she was only 32.
That's awesome. Oh gosh, that's so cool. What was it? Nice weather at least because you're getting so wet. Was it in the middle of the summer?
No, it was pouring rain.
Oh, no, that's not fun. I mean, you guys must really be tough.
I think it was sunny and then a little bit of rain and then it was sunny again.
Nice. Well, hey, I mean, you got to that shows that you're tough and runners got to get out there in all kinds of weather. That sounds fun. Now, would you like to run someday, run through Cinderella Castle down at Walt Disney World or run in Epcot or something like that?
Yes.
Nice. So what, if you could get a medal with any person on it, we're talking about this tonight. What kind of medal would you like to get if Disney asked you, who should we put on our next medal for the people that finish the next race? Who would you want on a medal?
So any Disney character?
Yeah, anybody. What would your medal be like?
Maybe Star Wars?
Ooh, those are popular. There's a lot of people that love their Star Wars medals. I can tell you that. I love mine.
Because I just got Star Wars Garmin, so I've been going Star Wars on my mom's phone once I get my 60 minutes of activity.
Oh my gosh, look at that. I love that you got an activity tracker. So what do? Do you get up so how do you get in your 60 minutes of activity? What kind of stuff do you do?
Well, we go to the playground behind my school. We've been doing that lately during COVID.
Yeah, you guys getting decent weather? I forget what state do you live in?
Washington.
Oh, so is the weather okay? You're able to get outside still and play without it being too super cold?
Some days. Right now it's raining.
Yeah, I've heard it rains a lot up that way.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's good though that you're getting out there because a lot of kids sit at home and play on iPads and play video games all day, and you can't do that. You got to stay healthy.
Yeah.
Well, that's good. Hey, well, thanks for calling in tonight. And we're not going to be here next week because we're going to watch the big football game. But in 2 weeks, you have to give us another call.
Okay. Yeah. We plan to call in every week. Next week, well, the next time it happens, it's my sister. Then it's me. Then it's me.
Okay. Sounds good. Hey, I like that plan. So you have a good week and do a good job in school this week.
Okay. Bye.
Okay. Talk to you later. Bye bye. Oh, I love that. We have all kinds of callers, and that is awesome. From Washington State. They're taking turns. Next time, the sister. I love that. It's so awesome. 407-413-9395. 407-413-9395. A lot of folks in the chat again are discussing whether it, the theme of a Run Disney weekend matters. A lot of folks just say they're there for the experience, but I know that there are a lot of folks that say, oh my gosh, I am a fan of Star Wars. I have to be there for Star Wars weekend. I kind of got a little of that too. All right. We have Wade on the line from a snowy Nebraska. What's up, Wade?
Hey, Mike, how are you? Yeah, it is a snowy Nebraska. I tell you what, we haven't had a snowiest week like this since 1965, and I wasn't born then. So it was that's how much snow we got here.
Well, because I follow, again, I've said this before, I follow your local meteorologist up there. He went from Indianapolis to Lincoln, and yeah, I've been watching it, man. You guys have been just getting like one after the other, I think.
Yeah, it got hammered. January was the snowiest month on record, which goes back like 100 and something years. So it's been a brutal week. It actually was kind of fun. I mean, when it was coming down, it was like 2 to 3 inches an hour.
That's awesome.
I think it was on Monday. Yeah, so it was pretty cool. So, I used the snowblower 3 times in 24 hours, which was crazy. Yeah. But, and we still have a bunch, it's kind of cold. It was supposed to snow last night, we were supposed to get some of that rain you got, but it just kind of skirted us and missed us. So it was like 34 degrees right on the edge, but it didn't rain. So
yeah, I would say though, like a 34-degree rain is just wicked. Like it's just, especially when I used to teach, I hated that. Cause I'm like, dude, like if we could have got 3 degrees colder, we'd have been off for like 2 or 3 days, like I'm getting paid to stay home. But yeah, now I'm going to teach it. It doesn't hurt quite as much. It was just like miserable. Like you just didn't want to go out. So, but you got your run in the snow outside. That's crazy. Yeah,
I did it. You know what? Each time this week, the great thing is the parks department is so good about clearing the bike paths. I mean, they literally get out there. It snows an inch or two. Boom, they're out there and cleared it off. And it snowed a couple inches a week ago, and then we got to 14.5 inches. And so they cleared it, I think, 3 times. So by the time they got it cleared off, there were a couple of runs this week that were a little precarious, where it's like, you kind of get your arms out and just like center your balance so you don't,
yeah,
you don't flip and go down.
Yeah, totally. You're like, what's under the snow?
Yeah, like a couple times it was like a treadmill belt that was slipping. You kind of like fall forward, and you know what I mean. But today was great. It was cold. It was windy today. It was really kind of like 25-mile-an-hour winds. Was terrible. And I was dreaming of running a Disney race today. And I don't care what theme, what medal, anything. I would run it. And I was actually about mile 8. I was like, man, I wish I was running a race right now, because it was lonely. It was getting gray out, no sun today.
I know it does. I mean, it makes you just daydream. And, we think a lot alike. Just, I mean, we've talked since, like April. And the thing is, it's just one of those things like, we're going to appreciate everything so much more and really kind of soak in, like standing in the corrals was always like a drag, right? Because it seemed like it took forever before like a race, you'd be there. But you know what? I'm even going to soak in that kind of environment. That'll be an opportunity just to go up to other people and talk and share, and take in the person singing the national anthem, how great they are. Like, the stuff that was just, it was like you had, your checklist of things that you had to go through to be able to run a race. Like, I'm going to slow down and really take every one of those items in moving forward, which is a good, it's a good check for us, but it's a shame we had to go through all this.
Yeah, I was even thinking, listening to the podcast this week with Scott, the SG rating on bathrooms. I was like, I would even wait 30 people deep to go to a porta potty at 4:30 in the morning if it meant that I could go and then walk over to the corral.
Right,
and I give that a really low SG rating.
That's right.
But yeah. Maybe like a 0.1 SG rating on those porta potties, especially after the 50 or 60 people in front of you. And then I always question why to have that cup of coffee at 3:30 to get a little caffeine jolt.
Right.
I should have skipped that, but
right. You always second guess yourself, right? You're always like, I'm not hydrated enough. I'm too hydrated. I need caffeine. I don't need caffeine. Yeah, it's even there's no no matter what you do, you're always like, oh, I did the wrong thing. At least that's how I am. I'm like, oh well, let's go. Let's just run.
I'm like that with hydration all the time, because I swear I do a little bit. You drink some water. I got to get some water, and then coffee. And it's like 3 a.m, right? Coffee, and then you're like getting over on the bus. I got to go. And you stand in the line, and then you get in the crowd and you stand there, and then all of a sudden it's like, I got to go again. So Yeah.
I'm
And like,
still,
where's the next porta potty?
I'm still mad at Princess. Yeah, it was Princess in it was either 19 or last year, 2020. Like, I would have had a sub 2 hour Disney half marathon, except I had to pee in the Magic Kingdom. I missed it by like 32 seconds. I was like, oh, with the whole thing, like, it was, Magic Kingdom was like only mile 5. And I was like, do I need to wait? And then I'm like, it's only mile 5, man. Do I want to be miserable for another 8 miles and like be, second, like I'm like, just take care of it and like just run as fast. I missed it by like 32, 38 seconds or something. Like, oh, I should not have had that extra glass of water while I was waiting just because I was bored in the corrals. Oh, it's brutal.
Mike, we are a lot alike, because let me tell you, the first half marathon I ever ran was like 9 or 10 years ago in Lincoln, and I ran a 2 hour, 2:00:23. 23 seconds. And I'm like, no, come on. I go, 23 seconds. So the next year I ran the Lincoln Marathon. It's a great race. There's 12,500 people. It's a great race. Half marathon. I'm running and I'm like, I've got a good pace. I go, I gotta go. I'm porta potty. I ducked in there, ducked out. I was at like mile 8. I'm running. I'm like going, oh my gosh, I'm looking at my watch. 2 hours, 15 seconds.
Oh,
I'm like, the porta potty did it to me.
But I mean, then again, you don't want to kill yourself because you're dehydrated, but it's like you're on that balancing wire. Like, you're just trying to, if I could just make it, then I'll just drink everything after the finish line. I don't care.
Yeah. Well, I learned my lesson, and this year, the day after I got back from Disney, November 1st, and the day before, we're hanging out with Scott and his family, and we flew. And I wake up, I ran a half marathon in Lincoln. And like you, I did my best. I did 1:58:12, I think. So I broke the 2 hour 9 years after I did the 2 hours, 15 seconds.
That's so
and so I'm hoping that I can use that, like you're saying, when do I get to use that proof of time? Because I did my sub 2 hour.
Seriously.
I hope sometime I get to do it, right?
Yeah, there needs to be like a presidential, executive order that says any PR, any qualifying times, proof of times that were made in early 2020 get to be used for the next 3 years. You know what I'm saying? Like, I killed myself that day for that time.
Oh yeah, I know. And I didn't stop at a porta potty either. So I learned my lesson. I sipped water. Yeah.
I was like, I'm just going. It's like, yeah. And if I'd have known, I mean, because I'll never have that time again. But I was like, I'm going to use this. Like, I'm going to get like B Corral for sure. Oh, too bad. We'll see.
I know. I hopefully we can use them. Hopefully we're booking sometime. It's not wine and dine. I'm hoping marathon weekend,
so.
And we know what the theme will be. It'll be Mickey, Donald, all that. That's great. But I'll take it. I don't care. You could tell me that there's going to be, a race with the 3 stepsisters or something, and I'd probably sign up for it.
Same. I don't care. Like, I'm not a Marvel fan. I don't care. I'll go Marvel. Give me whatever. Like Zootopia. I don't like. I've never seen that movie. I don't care. Like, I just want to be there with my my friends and just have the fun of it all. The medals are great because I'm not saying the medals aren't great because I love my medals, but it's like I've told this to some people, like, it's the souvenir that you have to earn, because people are like, what's your favorite souvenir? I like my medals because they all have a story, and you can't just go into the Emporium and buy them. Like, you got to invest yourself, and it's something, you can kind of remember, like, oh, that's the time it snowed, or that's the half marathon that we ran that wasn't an official half marathon in 2017. That's one of my favorite medals, even though that race never really officially happened. So
Exactly. Yep. So, well, there's keep the faith. There's light at the end of the tunnel, right? Every day we're closer. We're going to hit another month tomorrow. It's February, 1 month closer. People stay safe, get your vaccine, do the whole thing, wear the mask. We will get there. I'm keeping the faith.
Yeah. Tuesday's the ultimate Groundhog Day, right? Doing Groundhog Day on Tuesday. It's like, oh, dude, it's been Groundhog Day for a year. What's going on?
Exactly. But like you said, how we're going to appreciate it. I tell you what, I'm going to have like phones, iPads, laptop open for that sign up whenever that race is.
Oh my God.
Because we know it's going to be crazy, right?
It's going to be meltdown. That system is going to melt down. It's going to be ugly. I'm already you guys stop talking about that. I won't sleep until the next registration. I know, right? That's scary. I'm already sweating a little bit under here. You just mentioned that. I'm like, I can't think of that. I'm getting red. All right. Wade, good talking to you, buddy. You guys stay safe up there, and have a good Super Bowl Sunday.
Sounds great. Thanks, Mike. Take care. Talk to you in 2 weeks.
Okay,
take care
bye-bye.
now.
All right. Well, hey, that's going to do it. Fun, quick hour tonight. A lot of fun talk there. Got some Run Disney in there for our Run Disney folks. Mike Bankhead, shout out. Thanks for making this all possible with the Be Our Guest Podcast Lizards. If you want to be a part of the greatest team out there, honestly, we have runners, we have walkers, we have folks that cheer. We have folks that are just starting on their fitness journey. We have folks that have won Disney races actually on the team. Expedition Everest, one of the races one of our people have won. And we have a lot of us that are kind of in the middle and the back of the pack. And that's, you know what, that's where the fun happens. Just drop by Be Our Guest Lizards on Facebook, ask to join the group, and you'll be right in there. Mike Bankhead will take care of you in the next day or two. And you'll get so much encouragement. I promise you that. Just ask anybody. It's the greatest. And you can get all those cool shirts too. I saw that we now have them that says, "This is the way." I didn't even see that. That cracked me up. So yeah, if you want to be a part of a great team, the Be Our Guest Lizards on Facebook. Thanks for joining us. Don't forget today's show brought to you by the Magic for Less Travel. When it comes time to go on your next Disney adventure, I'd sure love to help you out. It really does help support the show and help support a small business here in America. Just go by themagicforless.com, fill out that quote form, mention the Be Our Guest podcast, and I promise to take care of you right away so that we can get you back to your favorite Disney destination, Walt Disney World right now, hopefully soon, Disney Cruise Line, Disneyland, and even Adventures by Disney at some point. We'd love to take care of you. Thank you so much for that. Also, if you can, use our Amazon affiliate link. If you do some online shopping, it's a free way to support the show. It takes one extra click. No problem. So it's beourguestpodcast.com/Amazon. And again, thank you to our patrons. You guys are really keeping the show on the air during this crazy year that we've had. And I appreciate each and every one of you so much. I just can't tell you how much that means. If you'd like some extra content and just to be a part of that group over there, just visit patreon.com/Be Our Guest Podcast. Excuse me. Oh, got a frog in my throat. All right, we're going to get out of here. And if you're listening on the feed on Thursday, hey, we made it to another super weekend coming up. And if you're listening here on a Sunday night, I wish you the best. And stay safe in that blizzard up in the Northeast and make a cool snowman. Get out there. Have some fun. I'll be thinking of you guys. So everybody stay safe, stay healthy, and we'll see you real soon. Thanks, everybody. Thanks, Alan. Oh, my gosh. I bet you are ready to run. Alan's run he's perfect marathon. That is so cool. Suggestions to watch the Super Bowl at Walt Disney World. Just look for a lounge, I would say. Maybe Tambu Lounge at the Polynesian would be my best bet because ESPN won't be open this year. Ugh. Or you could just drive over to Tampa, get some binoculars. Thanks, everybody. Thanks, Nicola down in Australia. You guys are killing it down there. Keep it up. Stay safe, everybody in the snow. Go make some snow angels. Post your pictures on social. I want to see them. All right. See you guys later. I'm going to head upstairs.